throughout my career and my life.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Suplex Report. Get ready for all things WWE, news, match analysis, and more. Hit that bell so you never miss the action. The wrestling world was left in disbelief after Roman Reigns' devastating injury at Clash in Paris, but what came after might be even more shocking. As footage of the Bloodline breaking down in tears aired across WWE programming, fans around the world were torn between sympathy and suspicion. What looked like a family grieving their fallen leader may, in fact, have been something much darker, a display of guilt disguised as heartbreak. The illusion of loyalty. From the beginning, the Bloodline was built on loyalty, unity, and family pride. Roman Reigns, as the self-proclaimed tribal chief, carried that legacy on his shoulders. He demanded excellence, and in return he gave his family purpose, power, and fame. But somewhere along the line, that bond began to fracture. Behind the smiles, the handshakes, and the "we the ones" chants, jealousy and ambition were slowly poisoning the family from within. A breakdown that feels too perfect. When WWE cameras captured Solo Sikoa, Jey Uso, and other members of the Bloodline breaking down after Roman's injury, fans expected emotion, but not like this. The crying felt exaggerated, the reactions rehearsed, and the timing uncanny. Some insiders say that this wasn't grief at all, it was guilt. Those tears may have been shed not for Roman's suffering, but for the realization that their actions had finally caught up with them. The growing rift in the family. For months, rumors of tension inside the Bloodline had been circulating. Solo's demeanor had grown colder, Jimmy's words had become sharper, even public appearances showed subtle distance between Roman and the rest of his family. What once looked like dominance had turned into quiet distrust. According to multiple reports, Roman's leadership had been challenged privately on more than one occasion, with whispers of certain members feeling held back under his reign. The pressure of power. Roman Reigns' position as head of the family wasn't just symbolic, it was financial and political. Being the tribal chief meant controlling the narrative, the storylines, and the spotlight. But that kind of power can create resentment. When one man becomes the face of an empire, everyone else starts wondering when it will be their turn. And in WWE, where reality often blurs with fiction, that question can lead to dangerous decisions. The Clash in Paris, a turning point. The attack at Clash in Paris was supposed to be just another brutal, headline-making moment in WWE's storytelling, but the aftermath turned it into something much more sinister. Roman's injury wasn't just another wrestling storyline gone wrong, it symbolized the crumbling of everything the Bloodline had built together. What once looked like an unstoppable dynasty now looked like a fractured family where trust had completely evaporated. Solo Sikoa's silent ambition. Solo Sikoa has always been the quiet one, the enforcer, the muscle, the man who acted instead of talked. But that silence has started to look less like loyalty and more like calculation. Reports suggest Solo has been stepping into a leadership role backstage, meeting with WWE officials, and aligning himself for a possible takeover of the Bloodline's leadership position. The same man who stood beside Roman as his protector may now be positioning himself as his replacement. The price of betrayal. Behind the cameras, there's a financial story to all this. As Roman's influence grew, so did the business built around him. Merchandise, endorsements, and massive payouts for main event appearances. Removing Roman from that picture doesn't just change WWE storylines, it changes who gets paid. With power comes profit, and profit can tempt even family to turn against one another. The aftermath, guilt and damage control. After Roman's injury, the Bloodline's behavior shifted dramatically. Their tone softened. Their public appearances became emotional. But according to some reports, that emotion wasn't grief, it was fear. Fear of losing fan support, fear of being blamed, fear of the truth coming out. Their sudden compassion looked less like concern and more like damage control. The family that once preached unity now seemed desperate to rewrite their own story before the world connected the dots. The emotional toll on Roman Reigns. For Roman, the physical pain is only half the battle. The deeper wound is emotional. The realization that the people he trusted most, the men who called him tribal chief, may have turned their backs on him is a betrayal few could recover from. Friends close to Roman say that the situation has deeply affected him, leaving him questioning not only his career but the meaning of loyalty itself. When your family becomes your enemy, how do you ever trust again? The public sympathy game. It's no secret that WWE loves emotional storytelling, but this time the lines between reality and fiction have blurred too far. Watching the Bloodline publicly mourn Roman's injury feels manipulative to many fans. They're using real emotion, or at least the performance of it, to maintain relevance while Roman lies injured. Their supposed heartbreak, their dramatic apologies, their claims of "we didn't know," all of it feels rehearsed. The truth is, if they had truly cared, Roman might not be in this position at all. The legacy at stake. The Anoa'i family has always represented strength, tradition, and respect in professional wrestling. Generations of wrestlers have carried that legacy with pride, but this chapter, this public implosion of the Bloodline, threatens to tarnish that legacy forever. The betrayal of Roman Reigns isn't just a storyline gone wrong. It's a mirror reflecting the dangers of ambition unchecked, of fame overriding family, of business destroying bonds that were once sacred. Roman's future, from victim to survivor. If there's one thing we know about Roman Reigns, it's that he's a survivor. Time and again, he's overcome adversity, illness, injury, and now betrayal. Whether this wound is physical, emotional, or both, Roman will rise again. And when he does, he won't just be fighting for championships. He'll be fighting for redemption, for revenge, and for the truth. The Bloodline's tears might have fooled some fans today, but when the real tribal chief returns, those same tears will turn into fear. What lies ahead for the Bloodline? The question now is simple: what happens next? The Bloodline is fractured beyond repair. Solo wants power, Jimmy wants validation. The family's unity has dissolved into chaos. WWE may try to spin this as a redemption story, perhaps even a reunion down the line, but fans won't forget. The betrayal is too deep, the damage too real. The Bloodline's once proud empire has crumbled, and it's no longer a story about dominance, it's a story about downfall. The moral of the story. At its heart, this isn't just about wrestling. It's about what happens when greed, jealousy, and ego consume loyalty. Roman Reigns gave everything to his family, his time, his trust, and his legacy. In return, he was left broken and alone. The Bloodline's tears may make good television, but behind them lies a hard truth. They're not crying for Roman's pain. They're crying because they destroyed the one man who held them together. Conclusion. The Bloodline's emotional breakdown after Roman Reigns' injury will go down as one of the most controversial moments in wrestling history. What looked like love was really guilt. What looked like sorrow was really shame. The dynasty that once defined unity has now exposed the ugliest side of ambition, proving that sometimes the greatest betrayals don't come from enemies in the ring, but from family standing right beside you.